Hello, everybody. Round 2 here, trying to record the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon. This is Shannon Messer, your host today, and honestly, I really did forget to hit record.
Helps to hit the red button.
It helps to hit the red button. But anyway, man, here with me, I've got Jack and Bobby and Dale, and since our top 10 list got so much positive results, and you folks are asking for another one, we've got another one. Maybe we should have a top 10 series.
Series.
Yeah.
This one is the top 10 essentials. So we've kind of debated this here a little bit and kind of come up with 10 things that we feel like are things that you should have when you go out, to your favorite stream or river.
Outside of the obvious stuff.
Yeah, let's kind of think about that. And some of them are probably more obvious to others, so we just kind of threw this out here. But number 10 is open for debate on where it should end up on the list. It could end up at number 2. We call that toilet paper.
Number 2 or number 1?
Well, I personally don't use it for number 1. So,
But we use it for number 2.
The ladies do.
Oh.
Yeah.
there you go.
Our bad.
My bad.
We're in the house of shame, Jack.
Oh boy.
Do we need to start over?
No. So, I mean, we call it striking paper. Growing up as a kid, we always kept...
You could start a fire with it.
We kind of... No, it's got great uses. Think about it. I mean...
Dry your fly off. You don't need that patch.
Man, the Amadou patch. Thumbs up on the Amadou patch, guys, and definitely thumbs up.
Not to be confused with the Poopadoo patch.
Yeah.
Or the Amadouki patch.
But we are the one thing that I was taught, and it's you guys, it's really funny, but it makes a lot of sense. We always kept a roll in the vehicle because you just never know when Mother Nature may call.
It's true.
And there's nothing worse than probably like doing a little cleaning with something that might break out in a rash. Maybe some.
Yeah, if you're not good at playing ID.
Yeah, he could get you some real good trouble.
So, I think it goes without saying we can all just say thumbs up, right? Like, we don't need to go around the table here.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, everybody.
Thumbs
All
up.
good? Dale's
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah,
I think Finn, are you thumbs up? Oh, he's thumbs up. All right, good deal, man.
He's sleeping.
Yeah. Where did that bark come from? Way to go, Fred. Anyway, so the next thing that is important to have, number 9, is fishing license. What do you think, Bobby?
I think that's pretty important. We have a lot of people come in there like, do I really need it?
Do the game wardens check you?
Yeah, so the one time they check you, you're going to wish you had it. That's pretty much it. So, in all seriousness, the fishing license, at least in the state of North Carolina, and I'm sure this is with a lot of other states, that is what funds a lot of the programs and stuff that we have, and the reason that we have fisheries like this. So that's the reason it's important to buy it. It's not like, the state's just getting one over on me. No, a lot of that money that comes in goes back into those fish that you enjoy fishing. So that's the reason it's super important. So just abide by the law, buy a fishing license. We're relatively inexpensive here in North Carolina. You can get a 10-day, you can get an annual as an out-of-state resident.
And you can buy them here at either shop. I mean, it's
you
super
can get
easy.
them at either location. So, it takes probably between 2 and 5 minutes, depending on if we have the mountain internet working against us that day. But definitely get it. And I think this is one of those where we all say thumbs up. You kind of got to have it to go fishing.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the next thing I really, truly believe in, and it's one of those things that people don't think about until they need it, and it's some kind of water bottle or hydration system. So, Jack, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm very guilty of getting dehydrated out there. I don't think to bring a water bottle or fill up the Camelback, whatever. And I'm just in fishing mode. I usually forget water, but it is something that I'm going to work on more this year. I need to stay hydrated out there.
Nothing like throwing a cramp out there while you're netting a fish.
That's right,
Have you had that happen? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah? Wow.
Trainer from the sideline, please. Those don't exist. But I kind of carry a filtration system. A few times that Casey and I was up in some high country the last summer, and the thing I liked about the hydration system is you're not carrying the water.
You don't have to wait.
You don't have to wait.
Straw?
No, mine's Sawyer. It's got the bag and stuff. Actually, it's really nice, and it's a neat system. The thing about that one is you could travel. So if you're traveling the globe a little bit, jet setting around the world there, you could have that. And if there's any uncertainty about water, you can filter out water wherever you're at and be good to go. So I think it's a great man.
Don't drink the water in the river, even though it looks clean. Don't drink it.
Yeah.
There's good stories about people drinking water and then walking up about a quarter mile and seeing some dead animal laying in the creek. So don't drink the water.
Well, I think we all agree on that one. So the next thing, especially for me, man, I put it kind of high up on my list, maybe a little bit more than others, but is some kind of dry fly floating. What do you think about that one, Dale?
Absolutely. I think you need to have multiple types with you. Keep the gel with you. Keep the powder, the shake. I really like the shake that you just put the fly in and shake the bottle. But yeah, I wonder, would you use that with the Amadou fly patch?
You said you did in that last one.
I
in the
do.
last podcast.
Yeah. So and it really, once again, the Amadou patch there, you think about, the more fish you're landing, the fish slime, things like that. So when you clean it, and especially with CDC feathers, the more that fish's mouth is touching that thing, which is what we're after, we want to have to be able to clean our fly. If we're out there drifting a fly all day and we're not having to maybe, dry it off a few times, we may not be having a really good day of fishing out there. So,
and we're going to see how many different episodes we can bring up the Amadou patch.
So this is
just because they like saying Amadou.
Amadou, and
we're probably saying it wrong. It's probably Amadou.
And what did you say? It was a fungus.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
fungus. It's a
fungus among
fungus.
us.
It's a fungus. So
That's right.
So some fungus are good fungus.
What do you think,
Fungi.
Bobby? As far as
definitely.
dry fly floating,
I
there
think
at
dry
number
fly
7?
floating's
It can maybe be
whether
higher.
it's the liquid that you dip the fly in or the
I
gel.
love that one.
You need to have the desiccant, the powder. It's a good follow up
That's
after.
the word.
That's it. That's the word of the podcast. Desiccant. So yeah, I think
What's
you
that,
get both. What were you about to say?
Oh, well, I was going to say, I think it's a really misunderstood essential item there. I get asked all the time, like, why should I buy both when, this or that, the gel, the liquid, the powder, they're all great, but sometimes you got to use both of them. Think of the powder as the desiccant. It's what's pulling the water out of your fly. It's drying it. And then you slap a little gel on there. Think of it like a waterproofer. So they go hand in hand. It's not really something you use one or the other. So they work well together.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I think definitely an essential if you're a dry fly guy.
That's
No
it.
doubt
Now, if
about
you're fishing nymphs all day, not that important.
not that important.
But definitely if you're throwing dries or have
Absolutely.
the circumstance arise, you
Well,
know.
you can put that gel on, some emergers,
Oh, yeah.
edges,
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
it up there in the surface
Yep.
tension.
Yeah, kind of talked about that there a few podcasts ago, I believe. If maybe, yeah, for sure. Hey, looks like the train's pulling back in town for an excursion there, guys. So maybe we'll get some folks here to shopping a little bit. So
Sweet.
yeah, man.
That's like an alarm clock.
Ain't that the truth?
That
man?
woo woo.
Get those horn blows, man. It's really nice. So the next thing we got to have is number 6 on our list. We were just debating was some good nippers and hemostats. There we kind of put nippers / hemostats. Dude, I'm all for it. I really like those Dr. Slick mitten clamp type hemostats.
Yeah, that's what I have
And
too.
it had the cutters.
Yeah.
One hand operation is fantastic. I do have the Orvis guide nippers, which are replaceable, the cutters and stuff, from 8x to 80 pounds on those guys. But what a great tool, man! Many uses.
Oh yeah, and nippers, most fly fishing nippers have an eye cleaning tool on them, so that's an added advantage. Now, little sneak peek here for everybody. Myself and Shannon went and viewed the Sims fall lineup for 2020 just last week. And their new set of nippers, which are pricey, they're a good set of nippers, but they're going to actually have not only nippers and not only an eye cleaning tool, but they actually have the magnetic eye threader where you can put your fly on the nipper and thread the tippet through the eye, which I think is brilliant to put that on a set of nippers. So, that's one of those things that you have to make that decision if you want to spend the money on them or not.
But they're going to last a long time.
They are, yeah.
And you left out one thing. It'll also crimp split shot.
Oh, yeah, it's also got a split
Yes.
shot crimper on it. That's right.
Yes.
So, you've almost got like 4 tools in one
That's
right
a
there.
lot of features in a small package.
Yeah. So that's coming out.
Big bang for the buck, Dale.
Hemostats are almost a necessity because of the size of the flies
Well,
and
it's just
the
ethical,
size of
too.
the mouth of the trout. If they swallow the fly, you need something to be able to pop the fly out. So I think it's, you almost have to have them every day you go out unless you want to wear down your teeth cutting line,
Yeah.
which we're all guilty. We've probably forgotten nippers before.
No, I'm not. No, I have never use my teeth to cut any line.
Really?
Absolutely.
Man.
Wouldn't know where to start.
I'll have my
not
nippers
redneck
around my
enough.
neck, and I'll still be biting tippet.
Shannon's not redneck enough, man. Man, I thought you had it.
I had a 73 Ford F100, man. That's 3 on the tree. That's pretty rednecky there back in the day. You know what that is, Jack? 3 on the tree?
I could guess, but I'll probably be wrong.
Well,
Go ahead.
I want to hear the guess.
Let's hear your guess, Jack. Yeah, guess there, man.
Oh, I don't know where it's on the steering column.
What's on the steering columm?
The shifter.
Oh, yay, Jack. All right, man.
I hear you, man.
This is the classic. Right?
Man,
What was that, Dale?
It wasn't classic back in my day. Let's
I think the Beach Boys mentioned that in the song. The 409. It's got
there
3
we
on the
go.
tree.
That's all right. I had a 3 on the tree,
Ooh.
baby. That's right.
I'm
That's
dating
it.
myself here.
Yeah.
Dating myself.
Your
He
wife
listens to
your,
radio.
Your wife won't like that. You're married to her. Don't date yourself.
So what's
But
next on that list?
Next, man, and I think we all agree with this one. Quality fly line. Quality fly line. So Dale, man, what's your thoughts on the quality fly line?
It's very important, man. You can take a really nice fly line and put it on a really inexpensive rod, and that rod all of a sudden performs. So it's crazy. There's technology in fly lines that help you mend better, and something as simple as lifting line off the water easy without making a lot of noise. It's pretty. I mean, they put a lot of technology in this stuff.
They do. It's a lot of
Kevlar
research.
and
yeah.
SA's got that AST plus that they won't let you know what the acronym means because it's so
Secretive.
Applied
It works so
slickness
well.
technology. Well, we had a test, man. We had a pop quiz at the shop one day.
Yes.
Applied slickness technology. It's a Dow. It's actually a Dow.
You know that AST stands for something we can't pronounce. I
Ast-
mean, they
Amadou.
might tell us.
asteroids. Asteroids.
But no, the quality
Astronomy.
fly line is kind of a thing. Now, don't get me wrong. If everything's a price point thing, so it depends on what you can afford. But try to buy the best line you can afford. That's the most important thing, because it will improve your casting, your mending, your overall fishability on the water. So it's one of those no-brainer things. You got to have fly line to go fly fishing, but it's important to get the best that you can.
And I think a lot of people, I hate to say it, they kind of cheap out on it. They want the fancy rod, the cool looking reel, but I would personally rank the fly line as the key ingredient there. It's going to make the most difference. If you had to change one of the 3 there, the rod, reel, or fly line, the first thing I'm going to replace is the fly line every time.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one, man. And we could have a whole podcast on fly lines and technology. It's insane for sure. So yeah, the next item I feel could be up at number 1, but it's deservedly in the top 5, top 4. But is quality sunglasses or optics. I'm all about that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Jack, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I like to look good out there. You look good, you play good. That's right. So, no, but in all seriousness, it more than anything, I think eye protection, besides being able to see the fish, which is, can be a big thing when you're sight fishing, obviously. You got to be able to see them. But going back, here's a story from my bass fishing days, fishing with my stepdad. Yanked a crankbait out of a tree on the bank. It came flying back, and it actually knocked out the lens on his glasses, and it was kind of just hanging on the frame after that. But the glasses probably saved his eye from,
Dale had
treble hooks
a
going
similar
through it.
experience with that. A guy hit him one of his friends actually hit him in the face.
The old Schweitzer.
Oh boy.
We were making some big long casts in a little boat on a lake, and I don't know what all happened, who crossed who, but I got a woolly booger upside the lens, and
It scratched the lens.
Yeah.
If it had hit his eye, it would have done some damage. Even if the hook hadn't have dug
and
in.
we were a long way.
It would
from
have been
help.
like a BB hitting his eye. Like it would have.
Yikes.
The greenie weenie was stuck in my head.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I think there's a couple things to quality sunglasses and eyewear that you have to think. Number one, they have to fit right. So you can't just go, man, those look cool. Let me buy them.
That's hard for me.
Yeah.
Dale and I can't swap frames, if you were wondering.
Yeah. So they need to fit, and the reason they need to fit right is number one for comfort, but number two, so they don't fog up. If they fog up, they're useless. You can't see where you're going. So that's the number one thing. The second thing is they need to be polarized. Polarization gives you that ability to be able to see through the water better, which from a safety standpoint gives you the ability to see rocks and be able to wade safer. Number two, you can see fish better. So that gives you the opportunity to sight fish a little bit more, which is obviously kind of like probably the best style of fishing in fly fishing. So, got to have sunglasses. Got to have them. They're good for your eyes, man. UV protection, It helps you with your eyesight staying quality as long as possible through your life. So.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an investment in what you're doing out there. You've done to spend money on everything else, but got to protect your eyes. Guys, we got a question here from Dave in Ohio. And Jack, we're going to kind of refer to you on this one here. And Dave was asking, he says, what type of fly fishing opportunities might I have in the state of Ohio?
Oh, that's an easy one. If you're looking for trout in particular, maybe not so easy. You've got the Mad River there, central Ohio, around Springfield. Or if you're in Cincinnati, a short drive over to the Brookville Lake, the tailwater coming out of there, I believe it's the Whitewater River. It's a good stocked section, some nice brown trout come out of there. But really my favorite would have to be the Little Miami River or even the Great Miami River. Some might say it's a little greater than the Little Miami. I don't know. But, I'm probably the only person that I know of, but maybe in the world, who's put a drift boat on the Little Miami. And I remember getting back to the ramp like, man, that's a funny looking canoe. But no, some great fly fishing opportunities out there on the Little Miami. Access in Milford, Loveland, that's where I hit it. Do you have fish out there?
Do you have any experience going up like some of the Great Lakes at all?
I've been on Erie a few times. It's big water. You definitely get a boat or a guide, hire a guide up there, or even go a little north of there. Go to Lake St. Clair, just outside Detroit. It flows into the Detroit River into Lake Erie, so you're kind of right there by Ohio.
So that's not far, yeah.
No, but some great opportunity up there.
Cool.
That's cool, man.
Great question.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So there you go, Dave, man. You got some opportunities up there with the fly rod if you're looking to get into it or you've been doing it for a while. Hearing it from our expert from the state of Ohio, right there. And so Jack, man, great, man. That's awesome, man.
Oh, and ton of fun.
And hey, man, Chuck, if you're out there listening, Chuck's one of our favorites here at the shop and our TU chapter here locally. And Chuck's going through some cancer treatments. And Chuck, if you're listening to us there at the hospital, man, we wish you the best, man. Look forward to seeing you back in here and your lovely wife Jerry, man. So keep fighting the battle, brother. We're thinking about you there.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So we're up to number 3, man. Our top 3, and this is I kindly have a real soft spot for this next one here. I would rank it up there pretty high, but we all think it's important. But as a waiting staff, Bobby, what? Tell me about your.
I think a waiting staff is important, and you have to gauge when you need one. If you're a young person that is tall, especially, waiting will be easier for you. We all know that as you age, your stability goes away a little bit. The height in the river will help. So if you're 6'3", 6'4", you're going to have an easier time waiting because it's not up to your hip, it's below your knee type thing. So think of it that way. You have to gauge that. Different rivers, you may need it, you may not. It all depends. Some of the smaller spring-fed creeks we fish around here, you barely get in the water. It's ankle deep. At that time, you may need to cross that creek during the day, so it might be something that you need to carry with you, especially if you don't know the water well enough to know what's ahead of you. So it is definitely something that it's a personal decision whether or not you need it and when you need it. But I think it needs to be on this list because it is an essential item for some people out there. And I think we're all headed in that direction where we will need it one day. So you just have to make that decision yourself.
Yeah, I fall about once every wade trip I guide. So
I mean, we use our nets a lot.
Yeah, my guide
staff,
net turns into a staff
because it has the long handle. So
now I'm a young guy here. I'm pretty slick on my feet there, so I don't own a wading staff.
Slick as in you fall, or slick as in
I guess light on my feet is how I should have put that. Not to say I'm getting swept away and I need a staff that way, but no, I'm pretty confident in my abilities, and I'm not going to do anything. If I'm not sure of it, I'm not going to do it. So
in 10 years, we'll ask him again and see what he says.
Yeah, we'll revisit this question at a later time.
I will chime in at this. The one thing that I believe that people forget about is egressing in and out of the stream or river.
Another big word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Egressing.
Why can't we just say
is that something you learned in the Navy?
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. Emergency egressing in the dark, getting your way. So, absolutely. It's always stuck with me. Did I know what egress was until I got there? No.
See, I thought it was a bird.
That's an egret. Egret?
You're right.
Okay, I may be wrong on that, but it's egret. I have to ask my youngest son, Braden,
right.
Mr. Wildcrats there. He'd know. Dale probably knows about Wildcrats.
Oh yeah,
But
About
getting
what? What was that?
Wildcrats.
Wildcrats.
I don't
PBS
know.
Kids.
It's cool. It's a cool show, man. Learned a lot about some things out there. But getting in and out of the water, if you're using felt bottom boots, that can be very treacherous. I've known people actually break ankles just trying to get to the water there. But I carry 3 extra ones with me for guide clients, and if you ask them, they're going to tell you no. But if you go ahead and strap it to the belt, they're a lot of times they're happy that you did. So I'm a huge fan of that. There, I am older. I have no shame in my game to tell you that I think it's a great tool. Not only is Bobby brought up a great point in understanding the depth of the water before you maybe make that step to go forward, sometimes can be a little deceptive. So great tool. Moving right along, man. One of my favorites there, and probably the most underutilized things by a lot of folks out there, is a stream thermometer. And understanding how water temperature will affect the trout's activity is tremendous.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's going to be big.
It's big, huge. So, Dale, what's your experience with the stream thermometer? Or do you even agree with it being on the list?
I think for guides, it gives us another excuse to make when the fishing might be tough. And you don't want to blame it on the angler. You can just blame it on the stream temps. I mean, in all seriousness, we see bite. If the temperature's changing, during that change, it's going to slow down. So it's good to know that it's not necessarily you. Don't waste a lot of tippet changing flies. You just need everything to settle down. Or in the summer, it's good to know you might be fishing water that's too hot. Fish aren't going to be active, and in the winter, you could be fishing water that's too cold. So it's not necessarily you or your skills. It's just the water temp.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's it. And I think you have to keep in mind that where you take the temperature is important. If it's moving water versus still water, or the depth that you drop the thermometer in. If you're only dropping it in 2 inches of water versus 3 feet of water, that temperature reading is going to be different, and that could affect where maybe you fish. So if it's a warmer day, and you take a reading in slow water and it's a little warmer than normal, go to the fast water and take it, and that's probably where the fish will be, is in that faster water. So the thermometer can kind of help you figure out this might be the better area to fish throughout the day. So that's where I think it's important.
Well, I think you guys really hit the nail on the head there. I don't know how much more I can add to that. It can be key in finding, like Bobby said, if they're in that slower water where it's maybe a little warmer, or out in that riffle where the water is moving a little swifter. It's going to be a little cooler. So it can be helpful in kind of pinpointing those fish.
Just don't lose it, right, Jack?
That's right.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's an easy one to lose while you're trying to hold it in the water.
Yep,
So
put it on a zinger.
that's it. Have it.
I learned my
somehow
lesson.
where
I
you
actually
can
have
attach it
mine
to.
tied on a piece of fly line.
So the number one thing, and when we go over this one here, I think you folks will understand. We have as a pack, the pack of your choice, but we say a loaded pack. And we define a loaded pack as a pack that has your leaders, your tippets, your fly boxes, your net attached to it. So a fully loaded pack. So we put that down as our number one essential there. And Jack,
Well,
what do you think, boss?
I'm a huge fish pond fan. I think the layout of all their...
Fanboy.
Yeah, fanboy here. No, they do a great job of laying out their packs in a way that's very user-friendly. I've gone from the Summit Sling, which is an awesome pack, to now I'm on the switchback weighting system, which has just been awesome. I love it. For my style of fishing, it matches what I like to do. I never thought I'd be a hip pack guy, To me, they always kind of look lame, but this one is pretty sweet. It's got a lot of lumbar support. The belt is very comfortable. You get a little back support in there, but also the fact that the pack swivels on the belt without having to move the belt is very nice. And you can even add stuff to the other side of the belt. Maybe I carry a 4-size like DSLR camera in a dry bag there, so I can kind of slide that around and use it when I need to. But the net feature on the back is great too. Especially if you like the long handle net, it's great. Just slide it right in there. You don't need to buy a tether or anything. It just slides right in. It stays out of the way. It doesn't hit you on the back of the legs or bounce around back there. It's nice and tight.
is it safe to say that you might like the switchback weighting system then?
Yes, I'm all for it, man. The best pack I've used, hands down.
Is it safe to say this is a non-paid endorsement for the switchback weighting system?
I've not been paid by a fish pond, not yet.
It actually is pretty cool. I've seen Jack use it in action. We've been out there at the farm, and I see that. And we've actually done well with that pack system. Man, it's
coming in at $100, $99.99. It's really hard to beat, in my opinion.
That's with the belt and the one pack, right? And then you can buy other.
Yeah, you can even add. You can buy that same pack that comes on the belt and add it to the other side. It's pretty easy to slide on there. So great value in my book.
Sweet, awesome.
So I have what the former pack that Jack had, the Summit Sling from Fish Pond, which I really do like Fish Pond's packs overall. They do a great job. They're a pack company, That's what they focus on. Love it. If you like a sling, it's a great sling. There's others on the market though. Sims makes them, Uncle makes them, Patagonia makes them, Orvis makes them. So I mean, all the brands have sling packs, along with chest packs and hip packs. The reason I like the sling pack is I've had a chest pack and I've had a hip pack or a lumbar pack as they're called. The lumbar packs, if you get a little deep in the water, they get wet. And if you got a waterproof one, it's not as big of a deal. But that's the one downside to them I see. And then for the chest pack, for those out there that want to be able to see where they're stepping, it does obstruct your view when you take a step forward. So you might not see that one rock that makes you trip and stuff like that. So those are probably the downsides of that. The sling pack is out of your way. It sits up high on your back. So it kind of takes both of those out of the equation. So that's the reason I kind of choose to go with that.
I'm going to say I'm going to buck the system here. I've not been using a pack. I know
there you go.
We just blew up our number one.
I know
there goes
number one.
There's a thumbs down.
He does and doesn't use a pack. It's kind of a it's
So
a similar
Fishdale.
thing.
So the G3 waders from Sims, very feature rich product. Lots of places to stuff things. So I can fit 2 or 3 fly boxes actually in the pockets of the waders, and basically keep everything I need there, either on a lanyard around my neck or in the fly boxes in the pouches. So everything's right there, and I'm not carrying any extra bulk. And now I will say the downfall is I have dropped a couple fly boxes.
So you also sometimes have that little Patagonia, I forget the name of it, but it hooks around your suspenders.
Yes, the Patagonia wader workstation.
So I've seen you use that a couple
times.
times.
Yeah, that was good. I ended up putting so much stuff in there that it was just kind of getting in my way.
That thing's tiny. How much stuff could you put in it?
Well, yeah. So and that's where I quit using that and just keeping everything in the wader. And one thing led to another, and then I just dropped the wader workstation. But the wader workstation was fantastic.
Yeah, those have gotten a positive response.
I don't like things being in the way of seeing the river. And when you, I think one of the last times I used it, we were guiding. You were with me. We were guiding out at Thunderstruck, and it was raining. And it was cold, so we got all this bulk on already, and it just felt like it was getting in my way. So just trying to be a little more minimalist out there and not carry as much bulk.
That's cool. What about you, Shannon? What do you use mostly?
I think I'm a pack connoisseur because I've
got all of them.
I think I really do. I've owned several. I like the waterproof ability of some of the packs, whether it's a sling or a backpack. I like guiding this time of year, really from fall through early spring, in that Gunnison guide pack by Fish Pond there, based upon the type of waters that we're guiding folks on there. And Jack brings up a great point. The one thing I don't like about it is being able to kind of like slide it around on a belt system, but I really don't have to slide it around no more because I've got my boxes aligned to where I can actually reach back there, grab the one I need, and go with it. The wader workstation that Dale brought up, I've used it in conjunction with my waterproof Orvis backpack because you can't clip a pack to the front of it, and try to go minimal on that. And I do like that. Summertime fishing, though, when I'm personal fishing, whether I'm with Andy or any of you guys there, going to some of these places, I do like. I do have an Orvis pack that you can still get that actually has like a frame support system to it. And in that pack there, you can stuff a rain jacket. You can put other essentials, a way to start a fire, things like that. And then actually on the front of that one, you have a little chest pack that clicks to it. And I like to go minimal. as well. So having that there, and it doesn't take up the space up here for sure. But I've had several packs, and the one that I like to work out of for business purposes is more the hip. However, you bring up the great points there. But a lot of the places I'm in with that, I'm not have to worry about the water getting up that high. But
I think what if you live around the mountains here, most of us have more than one pack for different situations. I mean, we all of us do, but these are the ones that we kind of lean towards when we're doing it. But certain applications, you're like, oh, I don't need. I mean, another whole topic on the packs thing would be a boat box for those of that go in boats. I mean, Dale's got experience with that. Man, having a boat box is fantastic. Yeah. Like it takes the place of your pack, but it is so much better than your pack in the boat. So it depends on what you're doing, what you want out of it. So definitely kind of keep that in mind when you're picking it out.
Yeah, I mean it's just like we used to say in the car businesses. There's a butt for every seat, man, and so there's a pack for everybody out there. And meaning that you put them on, you see how it feels on you, and if does it fit right, and if you're right-handed or left-handed. We didn't even talk about that. But not everybody's right-handed out there, and there's a solution for you too if you're left-handed as well. So yeah,
that's a good list, man.
I think it's a good list, man. I think it was good. And we had another good conversation here and stuff there. Had another good little bourbon selection here as well. Good question for Dave in Ohio. Dave, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Dave.
Jack did a good job with that, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. It really shows our versatility with the guys here at the shop. So, folks, we appreciate you folks listening here to the Tuckcast. Another good episode there. Be sure to share these with your friends and family out there. If you have any questions, hit us up at info@tuckflyshop.com or give us a call.
Hit subscribe.
828-488-33. Social media, Jack takes Kim and Dale kind of take care of that for us. Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, Google Podcast, all this.
Like, subscribe, and follow.
iHeartRadio. Go Dale, man. Dale, y'all give me the thing about being Shazam, knowing the music, but Dale's the one over here cutting loose a tune, man. Dale, man.
That's a jingle.
A jingle.
A jingle, jangle, jang, man. I tell you.
Jingle versus a tune.
Was you in chorus in school?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
Was you the one that was singing at football practice?
No.
Okay. All right. Did you want to sing at football practice?
No.
Okay. All right. So there we go. All right.
How many more no's can we get?
Any more no's? No. All right, man. As Dale would say, are all hearts and minds clear before we close this thing out?
Yep.
I think we're good.
Golden.
We are golden, man.
All right, folks. We appreciate you listening to us and look forward to another exciting Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon.